Hey guys, Nico here. Today's video is a little bit different. I know I've been uploading a severe lack of Diablo 4 content, but that's mostly because the game has a severe lack of content, and the majority of people that's still playing it don't have a shred of self-respect remaining. Anyway, so that's not what I'm going to talk about in today's video. Today's video is about Final Fantasy XIV, and particularly the Realm Reborn MSQ. As of writing the script, I've just beaten the Realm Reborn MSQ, and just wanted to share my thoughts on it, as if I'm being honest, I hated it up to pretty much level 45. Also, I do not want a single person going to the comments and saying that, oh, it's better than it was before, because they fixed and removed a lot of annoying things in patch 5.3. I do not care if it was better than it was before, because I didn't play it before. I don't care if it was like really bad before, because that doesn't matter. No one cares about the past. What matters is how it is now. In my opinion, this is going to be a really bad analogy, but in my opinion, a Realm Reborn is like a pie fresh out of the oven. Bear with me. It's like if you were to start eating the pie as soon as it came out of the oven instead of letting it cool. And you couldn't taste it because it was so hot until the last chunk of pie was left, in which the pie had cooled by then. So you were able to enjoy the last little piece of pie. That's what it felt like for me, because A Realm Reborn wasn't really fun until about when Sid was introduced and we started getting into the ending of it. Which is ironic that the ending was the best part because it was finally over. This is also not me hating on A Realm Reborn because I know it's kind of old, and I understand that Heaven's Ward is better and Realm Reborn is, but like, because majority of Final Fantasy players will say that it gets better at Heaven's Ward. Just play through Realm Reborn. You need to read all the dialogue to understand all the story and all that. But I'm gonna be honest, a majority of players don't make it past a Realm Reborn, and I've seen that. Like I've seen a lot of people quit. My friend quit. It's it's such a barrier of entry for new players that just don't want to play it because it isn't fun up until like 40 hours of gameplay. That it's just, why would you want to play through it? That's why majority of people buy story skips or level skips or just quit altogether because they just don't want to play it. Also, if you're wondering, it took me 48 hours of in-game time to beat A Realm Reborn, which might seem like a lot, but the majority of time it was me going AFK and watching YouTube videos and Asmongold videos.
Like the other day, I found out that I was sleeping in mold, and I had to, yeah, I mean, I had to get rid of it. So I washed everything. Mold can kill a house. Yeah, I turned it off.
My main problem with A Realm Reborn is not that the story is bad, because I do think it is good. It is a solid story, especially for an MMO. It's very unlike any MMO we've seen, really, for story wise. And the main problem I have with it is not the story, but the pacing. Because the pacing that the story actually takes is so sluggish and so boring that it's just, it completely ruins it for a lot of people, which I can obviously see. And it was even hard to keep myself playing the game consistently and logging on to actually, beat a Realm Reborn. And I will say that I haven't played the other DLCs yet, so I can't say if this is for the full game, and I'm not going to. This is just my thoughts on the first like base game. And the base game, what I've played, which every new player has to play, is not one that I think keeps many people entertained, because it has a bunch of fetch quests and a bunch of stuff that no one actually wants to do. But it contains lore in the text that you want to read. It's For a majority of A Realm Reborn, I want to say it's not. It's more of a story experience than a gameplay experience, which I think doesn't give the game full credit to what it truly is, and therefore allows a lot of people to miss out on what they could have been doing. But that's just my personal opinion, obviously. As video games, in my opinion, are supposed to be fun right away, instead of having to play a certain amount of hours for it to then be fun, which I know MMOs have definitely struggled with in recent years to actually keep people hooked on like hour one straight from the beginning. Well, going into this, I'm going to talk about my actual adventure through Your Zone and Realm Reborn through my perspective. Originally, I was going to level with a friend, so he made a warrior and I made a conjurer. Obviously, I picked the short stick here and had to play healer. And within the first hour, he quit because it was boring and he went to go play COD, which I don't blame him. The beginning of Realm Reborn is pretty boring. And he hasn't logged on since. It has been about almost a month. So I don't think he's getting back on. So anyway, I was forced to level up until 50 as a healer, and I really dislike healing. Mostly because Conjurer has one attack, and it is throwing rocks at people. And that gets boring pretty quickly. I also didn't know up until level 45 that white mages existed, and I was actually supposed to do my class quest until some guy in a Stone Vigil instance told me why the hell I was still playing Conjurer. So I did the class quest, and I mean, I didn't read the dialogue because I only care about MSQ and all that. And I did all the stuff for Conjure and even White Mage. I didn't complete White Mage, the class quest fully, because I was only level 45. But I didn't get any new attacks. You might get some in the future, I don't know. But it was still boring. So what I did was when I hit level 50, I got a Samurai boost. Well, no, I didn't get a Samurai boost, sorry. I bought the full game, which means I now pay the sub and have all the expansions, just so I could get access to the Samurai class, so I could play DPS. This happened specifically at Cape Westwind, which I died 3 times to on my healer, and then got the Samurai and died again to, which is obviously because I suck at the game and nothing more, because that tends to happen when you're new to a game, and just suck at MMOs in general. Yeah, I'm sorry. Um, yeah, so basically, I enjoyed the rest of the story, Paths Cape Westwind. I think it was all really good, and I just wish that this kind of pacing kept its way throughout. I don't want to say the entire expansion because that's not really what MMOs are. I shouldn't say expansion, actually, base game, sorry. Well, is it an expansion? Because 1.0 is technically the base game. If someone can answer that in the comments, that'd be great. But yeah, so I think better pacing in A Realm Reborn would really save a lot of problems that it has. And I know they fixed some of that with the 5.3 patch, but honestly, I still think it's lacking. But when you compare it to other MMOs, I think it is still good. It's just in my opinion to be for what people are hyping up in this game, which I know they're not hyping up A Realm Reborn, they're hyping up the later DLCs and expansions. But I'm just saying that it's really a letdown to have to play through A Realm Reborn, especially with all these people hyping this up as it is. Anyway, that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think. See you guys next time. Peace.